So let's focus on some positive and negative exponents. Let's begin with number 2 here. What's 3 squared? 3 squared actually means 3 times 3, which is equals to 9. Now what if you have a negative exponent? So the rule for negative exponents is that you rewrite it as a positive exponent if it's 1 over that base 2 to the flipped version of negative 3. So instead of negative 3, we would write positive 3. And by convention, the rule is that we prefer the simplified answer with positive exponents, not negative exponents. So what's 1 over 2 cubed? It's the same thing as 1 over 8. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So let's move on to number 3 here. What's negative 3 squared? So we know what square means. Square means the base times itself. So this is the same thing as negative 3 multiplied by negative 3. 2 negatives being multiplied becomes a positive. So what we have is positive 9 or just 9. Now what do we have here for number 4? We have negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1, and it keeps on going 11 times. Now think of negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1. As you can see, every pair of friends here, every pair, 2 negatives multiplied to be positive, dot dot dot, and there's going to be one person all by himself, 1 negative 1. It's going to be the odd person out, the odd number. So the fact that this exponent here is odd means the final answer is going to be negative 1. Now a lot of students here for number 5 think the answer is going to be positive 9, but actually the answer here for number 5 is going to be negative 9. Now why is that? There's no bracket here. So if I said your net worth is negative 3 squared, don't think that you have $9. You definitely have negative money. You have debt. Negative some number, and that number happens to be 3 times 3. So if this is your net worth, negative $9, it's actually worse than nothing. So please be careful with that. So number 6, we have a negative exponent. The rule is we go 1 over that same base to the positive version of that. And that's not so bad. And number 7, the rule says if you want to have a positive exponent, you need to either go 1 over, move it from the numerator. You can see x to the minus 2 is the same thing as x to the minus 2 all divided by 1. So we moved it from the top to the bottom, but in this case we're going to move it from the bottom to the top, from the denominator to the numerator. So by doing that move, either up or down or up, it flips the sign. Negative becomes positive, positive becomes negative. So we're going to move it up. So the answer is going to be x cubed. If you really want, you could put over 1 on the bottom here. But the final simplified answer should be x cubed. So number 8, similarly, the y negative 3, we're going to move it down to the denominator. Now, if you don't see a denominator, just draw a line. That's the answer right now. But you can literally take this and move it down. So the answer is going to be x squared over y cubed. Y cubed, the negative becomes a positive because we moved it